You're probably here because you're finding it a little bit difficult in finding your way about leadership, finding your way on how to manage people well, and finding your way on how to grow your business as an entrepreneur. Any one of these things are the topics that we cover. I'm your host, Sean C., aka Mr. CEO at 22. I am so glad that you took the first step of being here to learn more about leadership, entrepreneurship, and management because the world needs more people like you. We will help you to invest in yourself because that's something that is worth doing. That is something that is worth learning. If you have questions about entrepreneurship, maybe you're having problems at work or you're having some leadership problems or managing other people, boy, I have news for you. We have what we call a masterclass. Most of the courses in the masterclass deal with how you can generate revenue online. It deals with leadership, how to lead in crisis, how to break through the crisis in business, in entrepreneurship, and how you can manage other people better. Now, I always say the best kind of investment is an investment in yourself. And how much money are we charging for this masterclass? Not a lot. And if you invest in one, it's yours to keep. And if it doesn't, I'll refund you, no questions asked, full refund. So why don't you try it out? Head on over to sean.c/masterclass and check out any one of the courses if it fits any one of the questions in your head. And if you have any questions, you can just put it on the comment section and we'll get in touch with you. We want to know who you are and we want to hear from you. Until then, keep leading.
All right. Hey guys, good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight in the Leadership Stack live show. My voice is a little bit husky right now. And that's because, hey, it's COVID season. I'm not saying I have COVID, but I am feeling a little bit under the weather. Hopefully, it is not COVID and hopefully, I'm not sick. Please do pray for me. And if you have missed any one of our episodes, I'm just going to be showing you what we have this week. It's with Randall Tiongson, all 3 episodes. First one is Why is Managing Finances More Behavior Based? And if you've attended any one of his talks, you can hear him often saying that personal finance management is all about behavior. What does that mean? Tune in this 9-minute episode to find out. And we talk a little bit about crypto, why he's investing in ADA Cardano and why it's better. He thinks it's better than Ethereum, and his outlook in the Philippine economy. Very, very interesting stuff. Hope you were able to tune in. And last week was with Miss Jan Cavell. If you missed any of that, that was a really, really good recording. You might want to check these episodes out. Okay. It's been a very long week for me, and I hope that you're all doing fine. I hope you're all well, especially with the surge of COVID going on, and a lot of businesses are being hit. I mean, I've heard businesses left and right that have shut down their operations. In Tigil, nothing's being produced, no one's being served because more than half their team has COVID. Thank God the silver lining there is it's not as deadly. It's nowhere near as deadly as the first waves of COVID like 2 years ago and last year, but it's still pretty disruptive, right? So the investments, the stock market in the US took a hit. Our stock market also took a hit at the get-go at the beginning. Right now it's recovering, so that's good. I don't know if you guys do invest. I hope the whole lot of you do invest and are tuned into your investments. I think that our local market is already recovering in terms of the stock market. It's still it's ongoing in terms of recovery, so that's pretty good. Okay, we have a series of questions tonight, and I hope I get to answer all of them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick some. From Pam, how were you able to cope up and sustain your business during the challenging time during this challenging time of pandemic? Um, it's Look, all businesses are run by people, right? So I don't think there are businesses that aren't run by people, because all businesses are started by people, human beings. And for me, it's about focusing on what the need is for my people. And during the beginning of the pandemic, the need is to feel safe. The need is to feel cared for. The need is to feel secure. And that's what me and my execom decided on. We declared work from home immediately when we heard that the virus was here in the country and it's about to spread. And we all know how well the government is when it comes to being equipped to fighting against a pandemic. They're not very well equipped. They haven't done this for a very long time, so we didn't rely on the government. We just declared work from home, praying and hoping that everyone would keep safe and staying at home. So another thing that we did was we told our people that we will not do any layoffs or furloughs, and we're going to be keeping everyone. It's better for all of us to have to suffer a little than some of us to have to lose their jobs and suffer a lot. So we did shifts, we did the skeletal setup, and we had some volunteers as well for work. So the how it worked was the volunteers would have up to 4 hours of work that they can do, and we'll pay them whatever their rate is during the pre-pandemic time, or whatever their rate is, their current salary is. And for the skeletal people, they can work a minimum of 6 hours up to 8 hours. Or if they need to extend, we pay that also. So that's how we did it during the beginning of the pandemic when nothing was moving. The world was at a standstill. 3 months, March, April, May, pretty much nothing was happening. Our clients weren't paying. And yeah, that was shocking for all of us. But if you make your people feel that you care for them, that you put them first, that is a big deal for them. And the good people that you have are going to reciprocate that and pay you back with their loyalty, gratitude, and service to one another and your clients and the company. So that's how we were able to do it. And in terms of my own anxiety, or how do you say, my own fear of the future, how I coped up was I just gave it to God. I just said, Lord, you know all things. You said in your word, the Bible, that you have good plans for me, plans for hope in the future. And I believe you. And right now, I don't understand what's happening, but someday, looking back in hindsight, I'm gonna understand this was for something that's good, that you planned ahead for your kingdom. So I just trusted God, and I asked Him what to do, and He told me what was gonna happen. So 2020 was the first time that our mango tree ever bore fruit. And I felt like a still small voice telling me that this year is going to be a very good year, a very fruitful year for you. And I felt that. And that became true. Like 2020 was our most profitable year in terms of our net revenue. It wasn't the best year in terms of gross revenue. We didn't grow our business, it shrank a little bit. But in terms of net revenue, we were able to save a lot, um, because we didn't operate in an office. Although I was still paying rent, but the landowner forgave us 40% of the rent. So that's really, really good. I mean, it wasn't it wasn't easy. Definitely wasn't easy, but God made certain things happen to make things fit into place, and work well. And he kept what he told me, that it's gonna be a fruitful year. Same with 2021. God gave me three dreams. January, at the beginning of 2021. Those dreams, I don't recall specifically what they are, but they had all the same feeling. I don't know if you know what I mean. When you wake up, you have the same feeling. I know I it was three dreams, and they said the same thing. And basically, what God told me was, it's gonna be a very big year. It's gonna morph into something that you don't recognize. And 2021 was a crazy hell of a year. That's what I could say, right, for SEO Hacker, because we suddenly had an influx of clients like we've never had before, and we weren't able to hire as fast. So we had a ton of work that were put into our laps, and we weren't able to hire as fast. So we worked like crazy. Like 2020, we were so relaxed. 2021, we were so stressed, right? That's what it is. And I also, that year I also made a couple of investments, and yeah, in 2022, this year, I'm still praying and asking God what's going to happen. So asking for His wisdom and His guidance. So that's how I personally cope. It's all about the spirit. If you have checked into my blog recently, I wrote about the secret to success, and I say there it's not about passion, it's not about hard work, it's not about motivation. It's about the spirit. And I'm not talking about meditation or NLP or those things. I'm talking about your spirit, right? Are you connected to God? Are you really hearing from Him? So I'm not gonna spoil it for you. If you have been following my blog sean.c/ideas, you might want to check that out. And um, I also came upon the data that I am at the top something percent of people in their 30s. The exact number was in that blog. You might want to check that out. So yeah, hope that helps, Pam. What are some roadblocks you have experienced in owning multiple businesses, and how did you overcome it? The biggest hurdle is my focus and attention. If you own a lot of businesses, it's hard to focus on any one of them. So I've decided to focus on my biggest business with the most people who need me, and that's SEO Hacker. And all the other businesses are being helped by SEO Hacker. We're lending those other businesses some manpower, and we're also, of course, doing the website and the SEO for those other businesses. And that's what sustains it. That's what keeps those other businesses alive. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be profitable. But they're also not making as much as SEO Hacker is making, right? Nowhere near as much as what SEO Hacker is making. And that's why when you have a lot of businesses, you have to make sure that your other businesses, your succeeding businesses, can be helped thoroughly by your first business. So all the other businesses that I started are relevant to SEO Hacker, right? Queries is a conversion rate optimization software. It's for digital marketing as well. And SEO Hacker sells conversion rate optimization. So queries is actually an integral part of our strategy. Workplace and Sigil, they're both in the tech and new business ideas field. So Sigil is exactly in the digital marketing field. We do creative digital marketing there, video production, brand Bible, and so on. And with Workplace, which is a co-working space, we utilize that to create connections that we need for partnerships in the industry. So, but right now, co-working spaces are not really fully operational. So Workplace is not fully operational. It is operating in the sense that we are accepting virtual office applications, and we are also accepting people who are renting private offices. So but not co-workers for the day, not people who are just looking for hot seats for the day. So it is I think that's the major roadblock that is going to happen. It's inevitable when you own multiple businesses, and unless those other businesses are profitable enough for you to hire like a full-time operations manager or your own CEO for those other businesses, I think it's always going to be okay. They're not gonna break through and skyrocket in terms of their revenue, client base, and so on, because your focus is always gonna be on your main business. So hope that helps, Pam. Hope that answers the question. What are some challenges a business might face when looking to scale and grow? Oh, there's a lot of challenges actually. The first one is lack of capital. Because when you're trying to grow a business, for example, with SEO Hacker, I was a one-man team. All I needed was an 8-year-old Asus laptop, which took 30 minutes to boot up. And I could still do the work, right? I had no capital, 1,300 pesos. That's all the capital I needed. And I just put up SEO Hacker as a website and blogged away. But when I started hiring people, I needed an office because I can't have them work in my parents' house. So that needed capital. I had to pony up some deposit in advance to rent an office. And I, of course, had to have some furnitures in the office, an internet connection, tables and chairs, and more laptops. So that means I had to pony up money. I had to invest more capital in the business. So growth requires capital infusion for sure. And that's one of the biggest roadblocks to growth because a lot of business owners don't want to spend more. Kuripot or thrifty, they haven't broken out of that shell that they have to spend if they want to grow, right? Especially, I know this is especially true for Phil Chai business owners, Filipino Chinese. Kuripot talaga. So when they need to infuse capital to grow, they just don't do it. And consequently, of course, they don't grow. Because number one, they're gonna be doing those things themselves instead of hiring people to do it. Because when you hire people, you have to equip them. And equipping them with laptops, with cell phones, whatever you need to equip them with, that takes capital. So a lot of business owners would say, ako na lang kasi mahal mag-hire ng tao eh. May operations expense na nga, OPEX, tapos may capital expenditure pa kasi kailangan ko bilhan ng ganito, ganyan na equipment. Right? So what's gonna happen is they're not going to grow and the business is not going to grow because they are working in the business full time. They're not working on the business anymore because they aren't willing to spend for the growth. So that's another challenge or roadblock that business owners face. Kuripot, no? They want to save money, right? They don't, number one, they don't want to pony up the capital. Number two, they're too thrifty. They want to save up money in a way that is going to hamper growth. And thirdly is you have to accept that you're going to shed skin. What do I mean? I do have a blog post in sean.c/ideas entitled Shedding Skin. I'm not sure if you can find it over Google, but that was a very good post. In fact, I included that in my CEO at 22 book. Shedding skin, what that means is when you see I don't know if you've ever seen a snake shed skin or a shrimp shed skin. I do sell shrimps. I have shrimp tanks here at my back, and I sell the shrimps here, right? When you look at a shrimp shedding off its exoskeleton, or when you look at a snake shedding off its skin, it looks like it's struggling. In fact, at the beginning, it looks like it's dead because it's not moving. And then it's going to, little by little, slowly shed off that skin. And once it sheds off that skin, what happens is it grows exponentially in size, right? Lalaki yan. Bakit? It's not being hindered by the skin anymore. And the skin, the new skin is more beautiful, softer, more vibrant, more attractive. Everything that the old skin is not. A business will shed skin. How does that look like? As you grow, that's why you say scaling up. Scaling up literally comes from the word scales, right? Reptiles have scales and they shed off that scales to grow. So what that means is your business would look like it's struggling. In fact, at the beginning, it looks like it's dying, it's dead, because you're trying to just wiggle it out and go out of that skin, shed it out, shed it off, right? It would be people leaving. That's what it would look like. Some people who cannot take the growth, accept the growth, right? Ano yung sabihin nung they cannot accept the growth? It means they're not willing to do more work or be challenged more. They don't want to step up to a new role or to a more challenging leadership role. or they don't want to serve all of the new hires coming in, or they don't want to serve all of the new clients coming in. Those people that you have that you thought would be with you forever, they're gonna leave. 100% sure ball, they're gonna leave, right? Don't buy into the lie that your people, especially the first people who started up with you, are gonna be with you forever. That is a fantasy, right? That almost never happens unless they're a co-founder, and even that sometimes they leave, or they're a big shareholder, and even that sometimes they sell and you buy them out. They are gonna leave, right? So I've experienced this numerous times. People leave in times of growth and in times of difficulty. There's two times that people will generally leave you: in difficulty and in growth. When people leave you in times of difficulty, that makes it very hard for you in your business. Kasi nahihirapan ka na nga, alis pa sila, right? When people leave you in times of growth, that is temporarily hard, right? But long term, that is very good for you because those people are not going to allow you to grow anyway. Remember that. Those people are not going to allow you to grow anyway. They will resist change, they will not allow you to scale up, and they will be counterintuitive to what you want to happen. They won't buy into your vision. So let them leave. Let them leave. That is a good thing. That's good churn for you. And you can always hire more because you're growing. People want to join a growing company. All right? There are different kinds of people who want to join an organization. The hardest organization to join is a startup, right? Why? It's risky, it's chaotic. Very few people would like to join startups. When you're scaling up, that's actually the perfect time for people to join. Why? You have processes, you have a better order of things, you're more stable, you can give better salaries, you can give a better package in terms of their take home. So there's a lot of reasons why people would want to join a growing and scaling company. And of course, the enterprise business, which is the big businesses already that we know of, people would also want to join that because of stability, not because of growth anymore. So when people join a growing company, a company that's scaling up, there's a big chance that they're going to be able to climb that ladder way, way faster. They're going to have more growth in their career, more things to write in their resume, a higher package, and their package can grow exponentially in a short amount of time. The best time to join an organization is when it's growing. So when people want to leave you because you're growing, let them leave because a lot of people are going to want to join and they are going to reap the benefits of those people who worked for you and who left to grow your business. The new ones are going to reap the benefits. Right? So there are a lot of challenges for sure. There's a lot of changes that's going to happen. There's a lot of difficulties in your that's going to be stirring inside of you, right? It's hard when people leave, for sure. It's never easy, but it's also inevitable. So that those are just some of the challenges. Another one would be, of course, the taxes. The government is another challenge. When your business is growing, the government just never fails to slap more taxes on you and more things to pay, right? And whatever it is that you need to pay, it grows and grows as your business grows. They're gonna want more out of your business because they're seeing that they can actually get more out of you, right? I think that's how it works here in the Philippines. In other countries, I think it's the opposite. When your business is growing, they give you a lot more benefits, perks. They help you with your taxes because they don't want to burden you. They want you to create more jobs. So, but here it's the other way around. If your business is growing, they're going to want to suck the living life out of your business and get as much as they can out of you. It is hard to be a business person here in the Philippines. Don't that's everyone knows that it's extremely hard. We're one of the worst countries to run a business in the world standards. We're one of the worst, but it is how it is. What it is. You gotta if you're a business person here, you gotta face those challenges, right? A lot of people do it their own way. If you want to do things right and straight, the way that God intends for us to do business, it's extremely hard here in this country, right? That's what I can say. and I do run my business straight, and I pay my taxes, and I could testify it's extremely difficult. So that's another challenge that you will have for sure when you're scaling up and growing your business. Um, Another thing is letting go of things. That's gonna be a challenge for you, especially for the founder, because usually as a founder, and I'm a founder, it's hard for me to let go of things that I'm really good at and I love doing, right? So sales is the last thing that I'm letting go of because I love doing sales and I know I'm really good at it, but I need to let go of it because I need to focus on growing the business rather than working in the business. So that's another challenge for a lot of business owners to let go of so that they can grow and scale the business faster and further. So yeah, I hope I gave you a lot of ideas already about the challenges of scaling up a business. And for those of you who are in that boat right now, I hope you learned something from that. What do entrepreneurs struggle with most? Themselves. You know, the hardest person to lead is yourself. Honestly, it's hard to wake up early in the morning. It's hard to go for a run or a jog or a walk in the sun in the morning every day. It's hard to have that discipline of routine. You know, in the morning, I have a certain routine. And when I finally sit down to do some work or to write, it is hard, every day to be able to do that. It is hard to exercise every day. It's hard to lead yourself every day. So I do think that entrepreneurs struggle the most with leading themselves. A lot of entrepreneurs don't know that, but it is the thing that you struggle with the most because if you want to lead other people well, you have to lead yourself well first. Question from Zoe: should I work hard or work smart in order to become successful? I would say both. You got to have both, right? I know a lot of like motivational speakers or other speakers, especially online, would say you have to work smart, don't work hard. But I don't really agree with that. I think hard work is going to be the centerpiece of your success still. I mean, yeah, working smart is important, but a lot of people work smart now. We have the internet, it's the information age, right? Anyone can just research something and know how to do it in a certain way. So working smart is overrated, actually, in my opinion. Everyone can work smart. And if everyone can work smart, then what's the advantage if you're working smart, right? No one ever wants to work stupid, right? Everyone wants to work smart. And the internet is here and YouTube is there and you can learn how to work smart in a few minutes. But working hard, that is something that you can't learn. You can't just learn that, right? You got to have that work ethic that should develop over time since you're in your youths, actually. So I've been in our warehouse. My dad is selling hardware, so I would carry back-breaking loads of hardware. Botigero ako nun, and I have to work and help out. So work ethic is built and instilled since a young age, and you build on it over time. And if your work ethic is not good, then no matter how smart you work, I don't think you're gonna make it. You're gonna become successful. You can get by, but not become successful. Right? That's what I think. So you have to have both. You have to both work hard and work smart in this day and age to achieve success. Whatever your definition of success is, you gotta have both hard work and smart work under your belt. Zoe says, I'm planning to start a business. However, I lack in problem solving and strategic thinking. I'm not sure how you came upon that. Is that from Strengths Finder 2.0? If it is, should I excel in those if I want to be an entrepreneur? You just gotta excel on your strengths, right? That's it. Not a lot of people are good in problem solving and strategic thinking, but maybe you're good in people management and in leadership. You can use that to start your business. There are things that I'm horrible in. When I started the business, I'm horrible in accounting. I'm horrible when it comes to anything legal. I do believe when I started, I was not a good leader and I had a lot of things to improve in my leadership when I started. So I was not great, right? I was In fact, if you ask me, I was a horrible entrepreneur when I started. All I had going on for me is my self assurance that whatever it is I'm doing, I'm sure it's going to be big someday, which is SEO. I had a lot of faith in God that He will guide me to the right path, and I just need to do what I can do and work hard in order to get there. And I am also a futuristic kind of person. So I could see some things before a lot of other people can see them. And I use those strengths to navigate my business to where it is today, which is a multi-million peso company. Problem solving and strategic thinking are also some things that I possess, not at a very high level, but at, I would say, at a competent level. But you don't have to have it all, right? If you're strong in some areas, you have to excel and focus on those areas and use that to lead your business to where you want it to go, or to start your business. In your case, you want to be an entrepreneur. To start your business, you have to use your strengths. And the key is to look for a business or to start a business where your strengths would play a very good part, right? So I'm not sure what your strengths are since you didn't put it here, but you have to make sure that whatever business you're going to be starting, it would be in line with your strengths. So my talents, my talents are in writing. I love writing, communication, public speaking is something that I love doing as well. I love technology, right? And so all of these things that are have culminated in and of itself, God showed me that SEO was the way to go, and I followed that path, and here I am today. And what's important is we're always leading the pack. SEO Hackers always the number one SEO company. That is very, very important for me. And because of my strengths and my talents and my gifts, I am able to build around me a really good team who is able to do that. So I hope that helps, Zoe. And yeah, God bless your startup business. How can one be a great strategic thinker and problem solver? Okay, I'm not sure how I did develop it. I wouldn't say I'm a great strategic thinker or problem solver, but in my case, probably computer games had a lot to do with this. I've been a gamer since I was 7, 8 years old. I started with Family Computer, and I pretty much played every game until Steam came around, and all of the games just popped up. And now there's so many games that it's gonna take more than one lifetime to play them all. But it didn't used to be that way. There used to be a time when there's just a couple of games and you can play them all, right? All of the big name titles, you know them, and you probably played them. There used to be that time. Naabutan ko yung time na yun. So I pretty much played all of the possible games I could play. And I was a computer games addict as well. I do have a blog post about that in my sean.c/ideas. You might want to check that out, and how I overcame that. So I used to be an addict in computer gaming, and I think that improved my strategic thinking and problem solving skills. But I wouldn't recommend that route because gaming can be addictive, right? And we got a lot of young people who are hooked into computer games today. And it is hard to get over it. It's very hard. So I wouldn't recommend that route. Yeah, so I'm not sure how to get better at this other than reading a lot of books and really just getting your hands dirty and solving problems. How do you manage the workflow of your team? I don't manage it. We have an operations manager now, and we have project managers, and they manage the operations. But I structured everything in a way that I could leave and things would work. So I was the one who instituted all of the teams and invented all of the teams as well. Um, I do know that a lot of companies in the SEO industry, in my industry, followed whatever it is that I'm doing. So they have instituted their own similar teams to the teams that I have. And that um, kind of structure works in and of itself already. So I can leave the team and I know it's going to work because I structured the team myself and everything will just flow. Of course, it has been improved over time by a lot of people in the company. I didn't, I just started the idea and the structure, but people in my team are the ones who keep on improving things. And I would also try to improve it sometimes. It's a living being, the process documents that we have, the processes that we have. So, yeah, it's all about working on the business rather than working in the business. Granted, I didn't have so much time to work on the business before, but with whatever spare time I had to work on the business, I worked on structuring the team, structuring the company, so that when I suddenly have an accident somewhere out there and I die, it's still gonna work. That's that was the goal, and I'm still trying to do that today to make things better, so that when God wants to take me home suddenly, and I'm gone, the company's still gonna be able to work and work well. Okay, next question. Hiring is one solution to fill in knowledge and skill gaps in your organization. What if you don't have enough money to pay and hire more team members? How would I fill in those gaps? Well, if you don't have enough money to pay and hire more team members, I would assume that that means your business is not growing the way that you projected it to grow. So if it's not growing, why would you need to hire more team members? Right? So we're a services company. My business has to deal a lot with knowledge workers, highly knowledgeable workers who we train and we lead. And it's all about balancing the number of clients with the number of people in my team, right? If we have three new clients, we hire X number of people. If we have 10 new clients, we hire X number of people. We just balance these things out. And I always ask my team to have extra manpower so that when people get sick or we have some churn, either positive or negative churn, people get married or people whatever would happen, they just want to resign because they want a new environment, whatever reason it would be, we're still okay in terms of manpower, and we're not being stressed out or burned out with work. So we only hire when we can, when we need to, and when there's a good number of revenue coming in. Maybe it would be a cash flow problem in your case if you don't have enough cash to hire people. Because maybe you're selling your product or your services too cheap, too affordable. I always say in my talks, don't fight the price war because it's a winning battle. If you keep selling your product or service too cheap, someday you cannot afford to make a profit anymore. And that's when you can't hire more people, you're doing all the work yourself, you're no longer working on your business to make it grow, but you're working in the business to labor for your business. That's a horrible idea, right? No one wants to die working their asses off just so they can maintain their business and not grow it. So I think that there's a problem in this case. If you can't hire more people and your business is growing and you need more people and you can't hire them because you don't have the money, there is a problem there. And most probably it's a cash flow or revenue problem. But if you're not growing in terms of your client base, then why would you need to hire more people, right? So I think the fundamental question here is, why is the cash flow not enough to hire more people? Right? So I don't know exactly what's happening in your business, but you asked this question. I hope that gave you a good answer or a good insight into what you need to do. Question from V: How do you develop your teams? How do you help your teams remain motivated and productive, especially during such a stressful period like a pandemic? I don't see myself actually as the kind of motivator that would just, shout and chant, rara, let's go. But what I do is I lead by example, which means I try my best to put in the work that I need to do. And I try my best to help people when they need me, to be there, to make sure I support them, to make sure that when they make mistakes, I got their backs, right? To be the best leader I can, to be the most encouraging leader I can. I also encourage my people when they do good work. I tell them, hey, that's a good idea. Hey, good job there. Um, so that's as a CEO right now, I have the luxury to do that, to encourage and motivate them. Before, when I was doing the work myself, I couldn't do that really, and there were a lot of times before that my temper was not so great. I had a shorter temper, much shorter temper before, because I was taking on all of the problems because I was working in the business and I didn't have a lot of people and I had a lot of work. So I wasn't so helpful before, I wasn't so encouraging before, but now I have the luxury to be encouraging, to be motivating, because I have delegated a lot of stuffs off my plate, right? So much of my work has been delegated that there are those days when I just have time to go around and talk with people and set meetings and ask them how they are. So during this pandemic, it's all about asking people how they're doing. I think, you don't need to really fire them up or hype them, your people. You just need to be there and ask them, hey, how are you doing? Hey, how's work? What can I help you with? So doing that is important for me. Aside from that, we do have our claps session where we applaud people who have performed extraordinarily every week. And we do have our HR also, who would have some events that would help the team's morale go up. Hope that helps, V. Do you have a system in place for more organized work, clear SOPs, and an organizational chart? We do have an organizational chart. We do have the job descriptions where it's so clear what the job entails and what winning looks like is. So that is what helps to organize the work that needs to be done on a per job level. For myself, I do manage a task list for myself. That for me organizes all the work I need to do. And my calendar is a perfect tool for me because everyone could see if I'm busy at a certain time and everyone could say actually what I'm doing in a certain day. So it's actually just using some of the age-old tools that we have, a calendar and a task list. That's what I have. That's what I use. That's what organizes my work. And I just have to make sure that I am able to do my routine, and I do it every morning. Um, and that helps me to conquer the day. Hope that helps. When some teams become disorganized due to a surge in workload, for example, does your company have ways to mitigate it and make the workload more manageable? That would be my project manager and operations managers work. So they're the ones who actually manage the bandwidth up and down and expand or crunch the time frames. So personally, I'm not handling that anymore. But what I can tell you is my operations manager and my project managers are doing a fantastic job right now because we have a lot of clients and we're actually hiring a lot of people right now. So that means our manpower is lacking. And for us to still be able to meet all of our deadlines, they're making magic, they're just, that's miraculous for me, right? So props to them, hands down. I love what they're doing. I can't answer you this because I'm not doing it anymore in my company, but hope that helps. How do you balance the need for the business to grow without giving too much workload to small teams? Oh, um, workload to small teams. We usually hire. Like if we could see that the workload is getting bigger, we hire already. We open hiring. We don't wait for people to get burned out. Now, the question is, are we able to successfully hire people in a short amount of time? That's the problem. I don't know why it's so hard to hire the right people today, right? It is hard. Maybe it's just because last year we started hiring a lot of people Q3, so maybe a lot of people didn't are not haven't graduated yet. I don't know what really happened, but it was difficult for us to get good quality people last year. So we just, if they're not the kind of people we're looking for, we just take a pass instead of hiring the wrong person. That's the kind of company we are. So we are still hiring a lot of people this year, but we do open hiring way before we see that a team is going to be squeezed out. So that actually balances everything out. But right now, I can say we're not balanced because we have so many clients that we need to serve, and a lot of clients are still coming in, and we need to hire more people. Okay. From Edrine, what are your thoughts when hiring an employee for our growing business? Should we hire relatives or strangers to avoid conflict? Hope you can share if you have experienced this. Good question. Usually, I just hire people who really want to work with us, right? Doesn't matter if they're relatives or not, strangers or not. We get people who really want to work for SEO Hacker. What does that mean? That means that they're not gonna want to work for us because of the pay, the salary, the package, or because we have a really fun environment. That means that they want to work with us because they see our vision, because they see that there's a good future here, because they want to grow with the company, they want to stay long term. We hire those people. Doesn't matter if they're relative or not, strangers or not, right? We hire those people. So, how do you find these people? In our case, we open hire for a lot of positions and we screen so many applicants and we drill them down. And the rate of applicants actually getting to me is 5%. And sometimes the 5% would fail my final interview. So the rate that we hire is very slow because very few people get to pass our hiring process. But when people pass the hiring process, usually they're really good, high quality people who fit into our culture and they work really well with us. So that's gonna be my advice for you, Adrien. Hope that helps. You just really have to screen well and know what kind of people you want to hire. Your core values have to be clear. Your mission, vision statements have to be clear. Your job descriptions have to be clear. My job description, I wrote all of them personally, and I make sure they're crystal clear to all of the applicants. So that's very important, and you gotta figure those things out first before you get really good quality hires for your business. Hey, Mitch, welcome back to the show. Got my Leaders Are Not Complaining shirt. Awesome. So that was our giveaway last week. We did run a giveaway. Oh no, that was our giveaway like last year, was it? Or yeah, last year. And now we have another giveaway. Do we have another giveaway or it ended? Yeah, I know the giveaway just ended and we are going to award that give that t-shirt already. I think it's the I am a risk taker leadership staff t-shirt that we're going to be awarding. We are going to announce the winner soon. So Mitch, congratulations on winning that shirt. That was a good draw. And I hope you like the shirt and I hope it fits you well. Okay, how do you contribute to your employees' lives remaining balanced? Well, first of all, I'm not a big believer in work-life balance because I worked 16-hour days when I was starting out, and last year I worked like 14, 16-hour days. Those were very few days last year, but still, I worked very hard last year because of the influx of clients. So I am not a big believer or herald of work-life balance as some other people would be. I do honestly believe that people who put a premium on work-life balance, like it's a big deal for them, I believe these kinds of people are not meant to be entrepreneurs, right? They're not meant to be business people because it takes a lot of grit, hustle, and grind to start a business and to make it grow and to make it secure and stable. So I'm not the best person to ask this question to. How do you do work-life balance, or how do your employees have balance? For me, we just hire more people than the workload, and we expect that people would be able to balance, to have more balanced schedules, more balanced schedule, because of the fact that the manpower is enough to meet the workload, so that no one has to go overtime. We discourage overtime in our company. We don't like people going overtime, right? So people should work. In our case, it's 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. with a 1 hour lunch break at 12 noon, and we just expect that we hired professional adults who can take care of themselves and balance themselves out. So long as they don't work overtime, they don't work long hours, they should know how to balance themselves out. And our role is to make sure that they don't have too much workload, and we keep hiring people so that they don't have too much workload and are overburdened. So that is how we contribute to our employees' lives remaining balanced. But again, personally, I don't believe in that. I work very long hours. I do the grind as a business owner. Of course, I don't impose that on my people, because iba-iba tayo, and I do know and respect that a lot of employees have that mindset now, work-life balance. I respect that. Not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur. Majority of people I know are cut out to be employees, and they're never going to be entrepreneurs. I know that for sure. Some of them don't want to be. I know that for sure. And some of them who put the premium on work-life balance, I think, are never going to be good entrepreneurs. They can try, but I don't think they're going to be good entrepreneurs. I don't think they can make it, right? So work-life balance is not a factor in entrepreneurship. Might be shocking to some of you, but actually it's quite obvious. It's quite obvious. I hope that helps. Are there conscious efforts in helping mitigate employee stress at work? There's a lot of ways to mitigate stress at work, right? So I listen to 6 hertz music with my Sennheiser headphones. That's something that I do to mitigate stress. I take a quick 10 to 15 minute shut eye. I don't nap because I don't get to sleep 10 to 15 minutes. So I just shut eye and listen to that 6 hertz theta music. And I do my breathing exercise for 10 to 15 minutes. So that helps me a lot in relieving my stress. I also don't drink coffee every day because coffee causes anxiety and stress. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's pretty obvious, right? Caffeine, that's what it does to you. So I don't drink coffee every day. And yeah, that helps a lot. So there's a lot of ways in mitigating stress. We don't do this exercise with the team, but I do say publicly what I personally do to mitigate stress. I also pray and give to God things that I can't handle. Right? There are so many things that you can't handle and you can't have a solution for, like the pandemic. I mean, who knew that there's going to be a pandemic? Who knew that a lot of businesses are going to close down? Who knew our government is so horrible in handling a pandemic? No one knew, right? That's beyond you and me. That's beyond us. We can't control that. So these are things that we have to let go and let God handle. So yeah, these are super important things that I do that to relieve myself from all of the stress and pressures of work. Okay. Question from Mitch: what is a business mastermind and who is it for? A mastermind group is generally composed of people who are experts in what they do, right? And when I say expert, it means they have years and years of experience in what they do. And it's usually more than 1 or 2 people in that group who are experts. Usually you got like 3, 4, 5 people who are super experts in that group, and they're teaching all of the other people who come into that mastermind group what they know. A lot of people pay a lot of money to learn these things. Why does it cost a lot of money? Because if you knew what they know, you'd be as successful as them, right? You'd be as successful as them if you practice it like they did, right? So a lot of successful entrepreneurs are not overtime successes. I've built SEO Hacker for 11 years now. And there's a lot of days and nights that I sacrificed for it to be what it is today. A lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. People don't see that. All they see is SEO hacker, Sean C, super success. That's it. That's all they see. But they don't see what it took to build this. Right? And a lot of people, when they see everything that I've done to put it here, to make SEO hacker grow as big as it is right now, they're gonna say, that might not be worth it for me, right? So because it's super hard to build a business. It is super hard. You gotta pay the price. And if you knew those things that I did and you're willing to practice it, that's what a business mastermind group is for. They're gonna tell you, that group is gonna tell you what they're doing. And they're gonna also encourage you to practice whatever it is that they did. So they're gonna push you, they're gonna encourage you so that you become as successful as they are. Right? And that answers the next question: what's the benefit of a mastermind group? How much should I charge for my mastermind? It really would depend on you. How much do you value what you know? How much do you value what you practice, your craft, whatever it is that you're going to be teaching? So, for example, if I'm going to be teaching SEO, I don't have a mastermind group for teaching SEO. I am going to be in NAS Academy. I'm not sure if you guys know NAS Academy. You probably know NAS Daily. You're probably familiar with that. NAS Daily, the guy behind that, started NAS Academy, and I'm part of their Philippine team. We're going to be launching the SEO course this year, so you guys could look forward to that. The landing page is out, actually. I don't know if it's searchable in Google, Sean C. NAS Academy. You might want to try searching it on Google, and you can already waitlist yourself. If you want to learn SEO, I'm going to be teaching it there. Why didn't I make it a mastermind group? Because I don't have the time to run a mastermind group, right? But if I'm going to be running a mastermind group, for example, in entrepreneurship, right, teaching what I know, some of my trade secrets, and I'm going to be there goading you on, encouraging you, I'm probably going to charge somewhere 1 hour of my speaking fee per person, right? Because we're always going to be meeting like at least an hour a week or an hour every other week. So I'm going to be charging an hour worth of my speaking fee to cover my time, because that's still time I could have used to work on my business. So it would depend, Mitch, how much you value your time and what you know. That is how you should price your mastermind group. So I hope that helps. That is all the questions we have, and that is 1 hour. And this week, yeah, I think that was a good number of questions that we have, and I hope you guys learned. Again, Leadership Stack is on 8 p.m. every Thursday night, and hope you've learned this time. And again, hope you are well. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care, and God bless. I'll see you guys next week.